Good morning, Mel.
Morning, Stefan.
Well,
Welcome back.
yeah, welcome back. We're just back from Calgary, the SCC.
Supply Chain Canada, they had their annual conference out in Calgary,
Yeah,
and we went for the first time. We
absolutely.
meaning Lid.
Lid
Yeah.
was there for the first time, and it was amazing. I
Yeah.
was like, my God, I gotta say to the SCC Canada people, congrats. It was well done. Everything was, top notch.
Very well organized, beautiful event, beautiful venue, a lot of good content and speakers, and a wide range of topics that
Hmm.
were covered. So, obviously, a lot of conversation around trade and tariffs. That's a hot topic for
Yeah,
us right now. And then a lot of oil and gas related conversation
of
too,
course.
just given the geography of where it was held. But
We got to see and hear Alberta Premier
yep,
Danielle Smith was
Danielle
there,
Smith.
and the mayor of Calgary.
Hmm. We also
So
got to see a white hat ceremony.
yes, yes. Congrats to Dylan and his friends that got inducted in the, the white hat. This is not a publicity for SCC Canada,
Correct.
though. We want to talk about things we saw and things we didn't see at SCC Canada in a very positive way.
Yep.
Because at the end of this podcast, we'll tell you a little. We'll give you a little hint of the surprise we receive at the very end of this year conference.
I think a good lead in is to just start by explaining the answer to a question that we get often when we say that we're supply chain consultants, which is simply what is supply chain? Where does that start and end? And all of the different subcategories that live within that very broad term.
Because I like to use I like to use an old graph of mine that I've been traveling with for years. It includes 12 discipline. I'm not saying there's only 12 discipline. I'm saying 12 is is a good number to look at, and LID covers 9 of those 12, but not sourcing, procurement, manufacturing. So those are areas where we have to deal with
Hmm.
most of the time because our distributor, our manufacturer clients uh, have to deal with raw material. They have to deal with sourcing. They have to deal with replenishment. They have to deal with all of those. But we're specialized in, or I should say right after, or when there's a good, when there's a finished good. This is where Lid excel.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So within that, and you mentioned the nine, we have a few different branches at LID, right? We have our physical infrastructure, our technology, our optimization. And so those touch, you said 9 out of the 12. Speaking about the three that we don't quite cover, I think we both agree that we saw some of those
Yes.
areas
Mhm.
at the conference. So it was interesting for us to get that exposure for areas that we don't necessarily deal with on our day to day as much. One of those being procurement, but we did want to cycle back on the importance of procurement and how it affects us in our day to
Of
day.
course.
And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, funny enough, as an operator, I'll change hat and I'll put my operator, my VP supply chain, the VP distribution and operation years. And procurement is always there's always a fight between operation and between distribution, between warehousing and procurement,
Hmm.
because procurement is going to look at the good as, oh my god, I can get this product for half the price, and
Yeah.
then yeah, but where are we going to store it? Is it really worth? What's the cost of getting it? What's the cost of carrying it? What's the cost of warehousing it, transporting it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? So there's a need, and that's where it was really positive to see all those procurement people. But it brings me back to saying, that's why communication within the supply chain,
Hmm.
as big as the supply chain can be, because we haven't talked about design, product design, recycling, or there's HR within the supply chain, So it's big. It's certainly more than 12, but I mean 12 main category is good. And if you look at those 12, communication communication is essential
Mhm.
to make it work seamlessly, to make it work, efficiently.
Yep. No, so it's very interesting, and like Stefan said, so we met a lot of these procurement folks, and one thing that we hope to next year work with Dylan and Supply Chain Canada is bringing that tie between the procurement and the rest of the operations as well, and even in our own day to day, understanding better the communication that needs to happen between those disciplines because they're directly linked. What someone orders up front is what ultimately ends up in your warehouse and then ultimately needs to be shipped out. So even on our side, I think it lit up some light bulbs in
Oh
my
yeah.
head that we need to be thinking about that area a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fun to see some people from Quebec, even though it was held in Calgary. So there was some people from Quebec,
Yeah, that's true.
uh, some suppliers as well. Some suppliers from Quebec were there, and it was great to see all of those supply chain again, all of those supply chain folks getting all together and start talking about their problems, about
Yep.
their project, about their opportunity, about what's next for them. How do they see technology? How do they see automation? Even though it was really, procurement oriented.
No, absolutely. And we had a good few conversations where we're talking about, what does lit do? How do we, again, bring those nine disciplines that we really take space in? How does that affect a business? And getting the procurement folks to think outside as well of just their four walls, if you will. And we also something that we noticed is that we met a lot of students. So we did see
Yes.
that the Supply Chain Canada group is working a lot with student associations within different local networks. And we were able to meet quite a few, I think two, three folks that were very young, sharp, hopefully future interns at LIT or
Yeah.
somewhere else. But really interesting to see the different programs that are going on with respect to supply chain throughout Canada as well.
Hmm.
So next year,
Oh, next
yeah,
year. Yeah.
you want
Next
to
year,
give us the news?
ooh, so next year, conference will be held in Quebec City. So right here on our turf,
In our backyard.
in our backyard. So we're really looking forward to bring more supply chain people into the Supply Chain Canada Association and more people to that conference. So to get a feel for what it is to be part of that big supply chain family. So I don't want to be the grandfather of that family, but I'll be one of them. I'll be one of them, and hopefully we'll bring students in. We'll
Yep,
bring everybody from procurement to trade and custom, from transportation to technology, from inventory management to supply planning. So I'm really looking forward to see that big of a conference here in the province of Quebec.
no, it's going to be really exciting. And Quebec itself has so many different industries that
Hmm.
operate. So I think we're going to see a very well rounded distribution of different types of businesses and operations that are represented at next year's conference. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And the discussion. So one thing maybe to end that podcast, maybe uh, well, I was so pleased with the discussion we had with everybody in Calgary, and mostly people that understood where lid sit, and how they can provide us with with contacts within their company,
Hmm.
with people, either they were transportation, distribution, or warehousing. They all offered us, oh yeah, 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 we'll link you with Tom, with Jim, with Tony, in our company. That yeah, we're procurement, but we work with those guys
Yep.
on a daily basis, and that's why we decided to go that way with this podcast. Was like, okay, so we're all, again, we're all part of the same gang, let's all be friends. Let's all communicate either, um, you know, to each other or through technology, but let's help that supply chain be more resilient, be more efficient, uh, by working together.
Absolutely, and I'm a little biased coming from our lid technology practice itself that we know how much a technology project cannot be implemented well without the implication, I should say, of the folks in and
There we
around it.
go.
So
Yeah.
it's like whenever they say, an IT project isn't just an IT project, it's actually an operations project. But operations itself, people think it's the folks in the warehouse, but it's everyone around that. All of the folks that are touching the procurement folks that are bringing product in, the transport guys that are taking the product out. So it's not just within the four walls. It's really about the systems and the people that operate in and around as well.
You're
So
absolutely right. Yeah.
communication is really important. Understanding the end-to-end business flows is really important. As much as one person does in their day to day, they interact with, 10, 15, 20 folks in their day that all have different functions within the
Mhm.
business. So
Yeah.
important for folks to understand just that end to end and extension of what supply chain really means. So we're happy to show you guys the infographic that we've put together that extracts out of Stefan's brain and puts it in front of the world to really understand what does supply chain mean
Mhm.
when Lid is talking about it.
Yeah.
So
So, folks, to our next chat or in other trade shows, or we'll see you in Quebec City for sure next spring, right?
May,
Yeah,
was it
May.
May? I
It's
forget the exact date, so
May.
we'll add it there at the
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah,
But
yeah. We'll add it to the podcast, but it is May 2026. Until then, we'll be at Pack Expo. Uh, wow, my God, every trade show you can look at on our website. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. It's been fun
likewise, it
going
was
to
fun.
Calgary together. We didn't get to. Well, there's a picture with us with Cowboys hat, but
We're not
well,
going to post that,
no.
but
But next time, promise we'll get cowboy hats and cowboy boots when we get to Calgary.
when we get to Calgary. Thank
Okay.
you guys.
Thank you.
Next time.
Bye.